Hello friends, I welcome you all for the second session on digital signal processing. In the previous class, we got to know about the course objectives and learning objectives of this course, followed by we discussed the syllabus. Then we also dealt with some basics of digital signal processing and why digitalization is required. And in today's class, we will revisit to the types of signals and uh, we'll try to we'll try to discuss about the relationship between DTFT and DFT. So, this is when I say the types of signals, you already studied about the different types of classifications of signals. So, namely a random signal, or the energy signal, or the power signal, like this. All these kinds of classifications you already studied in your basic signal science systems. Now, out of which you also studied one of the very important types of signals like periodic signal and aperiodic signals as well. In this class, I'll just revisit and brush the what is the meaning of periodic and the aperiodic signal. And now this will be the fundamental and the very prerequisite for my DSP subject. So now we'll go with a little brief description of uh, types of signals or classification of signals. In one of the classifications, we learned that the periodic and aperiodic signals are one of the classifications of signals. Now, what is periodic signal and aperiodic signal? A periodic signal is the signal which will not change its frequency as the time changes. Let us try to explain this with this particular figure. So here is one signal. So this is t, and you have a x of t, and this is one cycle here. Okay, so now one cycle. I maintain the same frequency for the next cycle also. So if throughout the time, as the time changes, the frequency of the signal remains same, and let us say the frequency is f1. And such a kind of signals we call it as a periodic signal. To give a best example for a periodic signal is every day that we receive a voltage of 220 for volts and followed by 50 hertz of frequency to our home from the ESCOM, right? So and that the KB power supply. Now that particular frequency, that is 50 hertz, will be remained constant throughout the 24 cross 7 and 365 days. As the time changes, it is not only that today I am going to get 50 hertz and tomorrow it will be 100 hertz as such. It is throughout the 365 days the voltage, as the time changes, the voltage is remaining constant, hence it is called as periodic signal. So then what about a periodic signal? A periodic signal is one so which will be not the frequency is not going to be remain same as the time changes. The best example is the human heart pulse. The human heart pulse is going to be varied as and when, right? So if I run for few minutes, then my heart pulse will be different. If I sleep for a few hours, then once again the heart pulse is going to be different, right? So it will be not the same heart pulse as throughout the right from my birth to till the last day of my the last breath, right? So similarly, the another best example for this periodic signal is speech signal or voice signal. Right now I am recording my signal here. So and this signal, if you watch the signal, definitely it will going to be varied from time to time, or my the initial few seconds of the lecture will be with a different frequency, and later on as my voice getting modulation, due to my modulation or due to my pitch variation, again the signal is going to be varied with respect to frequency, and hence the speech or voice signal is another best example for aperiodic signal. Now the point is, these are the signal, any signal you take. So any signal if you take, if I want to analyze the signal if I want to analyze the signal, I will be moving from time domain to frequency domain now. In order to move from time domain to frequency domain, I have a mathematical tools. Like Fourier. Now, when to apply which Fourier technique? That is what is most important in this concept. So, if the signal is periodic, and if I want to go for frequency domain of from time domain to frequency domain, now if the signal is periodic, I should apply Fourier series. Okay, and if the signal is aperiodic, okay, now if at all I want to move from time domain to frequency domain, now I will be applying Fourier transform, that is ft is going to be applied. So another important concept, that is first when to apply Fourier series and when to apply Fourier transform. For all periodic signal, if you want to analyze the frequency analysis, go for frequency Fourier series. For all aperiodic or non-periodic signals, if you want to go for frequency analysis, go for frequency transform. Now, similarly, in every periodic signal, I have a continuous signal. Also, I have a discrete signal, right? So it does not matter, because if the signal is continuous, I will be applying the CTFS. If the signal is discrete, I will be applying DTFS. Similarly, in a periodic signal, there are two types of signal. One is continuous signal and discrete signal. If the signal is continuous, then it is FT. What type of FT? Continuous time Fourier transform. If the signal is discrete, then we go for applying a discrete time Fourier transform. So this is all about the types of signal and the mathematical tool that we try to apply to move from time domain to frequency domain. All the time, one point you should remember is, to move from time domain to frequency domain, you need a mathematical tool, and here we are using Fourier series and Fourier transform based on a signal is periodic or non-periodic. Okay, I hope you understood the importance of periodicity, periodic and aperiodic signal. Now I'll come to the actual discussion here. Now we are nowhere concerned with the Fourier series in this chapter. All the way we discuss about mainly on DTFT and DFT concepts. So hence I will be restricting our explanation for a periodic signal, which means that assume that all the signals are discussed or with all they are aperiodic signals. And once again, we are concentrating on only on a digitalized signal. Hence, our explanation will be restricted with respect to this part. That is, a periodic signal and digital signal and we apply Fourier transform for digital signal, that is discrete time Fourier transform is going to be applied. So that's where our next concept deals with why Fourier, how to convert DTFT and what is DTFT and how to have the relationship between DTFT and DFT. Okay. Now there is a small note, you must remember this. Whenever you go for a frequency analysis of a signals x of n are usually carried out using a DSP, because we are discussing about a digital signal processing. Hence we are very much concerned about x of n signal, and x of n signal is to be considered as the aperiodic signal. In this session, we are restricting our lecture for aperiodic signals, and we will be analyzing this using DTFT concepts, because we are basically, the chapter name says that digital signal processing. Okay, and we are considering the input to the processor as a discrete signals, and that discrete signal is a periodic signals. Now to perform analysis on discrete time signals, they are supposed to be converted into frequency domain all the time. So that's where I told you in the beginning itself. So x of n must be converted into frequency domain. So this is time domain signal, and this is the frequency domain signal, and the input is discrete here, and hence we go for DTFT while transforming from time domain to frequency domain. Okay. Now, okay. Now, so that's where the point, and the another very important point here. When I move from time domain to frequency domain, with respect to a periodic signal, a discrete periodic signal, is let us consider a signal x of n. Okay, now this x of n signal is aperiodic, and it is what, um, uh, discrete time. So now if I want to analyze, then the x of n is to be converted into the frequency domain x of omega or x of this. The both the way is correct here. So it is not only x of omega, even if you write x of e or j omega, that is also absolutely fine. So both are correct way of representation in terms of frequency domain. So now I will be applying a DTFT for this to move from time domain to frequency domain. This is time domain TD, and this is FD, frequency domain. Now here, as I told you, the signal is aperiodic. But when you move from time domain to frequency domain, and this signal will become periodic and continuous function. That is very important. Continuous function. What do you mean by this? So let us give you the brief description here. So if the signal here, the signal what we consider was aperiodic with respect to time, and that is here it is discrete, hence I will consider it as n. So now the signal is x of n is aperiodic and discrete time. When I move from time domain to, when I shift from time domain to frequency domain by applying DTFT concept, this signal is going to be not the x of omega is no more a discrete. This will become a continuous signal, and it will be a periodic signal. That is what I told you. So the Fourier transform of here, just concentrate. The Fourier transform of dt, a periodic signal x of n, is continuous function of omega. So that is continuous function of omega, continuous function of omega with periodic with period 2 pi. So when you consider this, the discrete signal, and when you transform that into a frequency domain using DTFT mathematical tool, the output will be continuous function, and the output will be periodic in nature with respect to period 2 pi. So these are all the fundamental concepts that you have already learnt it in your signals and systems. Now with this as a fundamental concept and basic knowledge, I will take you further for the digital signal processing. Okay, so now right now you must remember that the signal, discrete signal, which is aperiodic in nature, when you apply a DTFT for it, it will become a continuous in nature, and the signal will be periodic with period 2 pi with respect to a frequency omega. Okay, so with this knowledge, we'll discuss the very important concept, that is frequency domain sampling. That actually this particular concept here we mainly deal with the relationship between DTFT and DFT. So kindly concentrate. Sorry, it is DTFT. Okay, let me erase this. So here mainly we talk about TTF, relationship between DTFT and discrete Fourier transform. So try to understand how we move from. So you must be aware of this particular topic, because here onwards we talk about only DFT and DFT only. So, but you should know that how do we arrive from DTFT to DFT. Okay. So, as I told you, now I'll take a directly. I'm going to take a DTFT signal here. As you know that DTFT signal is originated from x of n discrete time signal. We applied DTFT for it, and you got a continuous signal here. So let me take the continuous signal. So this is the signal x of e power j omega, or we also represent this as x of omega, with respect to frequency omega. Okay. Now this is the one which is continuous in nature. So this is a continuous function. Second point, it is periodic. It is periodic with period 2 pi. Fine. So with period 2 pi. Now here also you got this, the x of n was here. The x of n was a periodic, right, and discrete time signal. So the moment I write x of n, you should understand that it is a discrete time. Okay. Now let go for, see, the main intention of going for frequency domain analysis is to understand, the main intention is to get to know magnitude and phase. Now with this, it is very difficult for me to analyze the magnitude and phase when we go for DTFT. So what we do, so that's where we go for sampling of this particular DTFT signal. The main intention is, when we move from time domain to frequency domain, we always will be looking to identify the signal's magnitude and phase. So if at all I don't get this information, then moving for DTF, moving for frequency domain will not give you a fruitful discussion. So that's where now it is very difficult, or it is not the it is very inconvenient for computation of magnitude and phase. So what we do is we sample this version now. Let me go for sampling of these things. So here, so for your convenience, let me take a different ink here. Okay, it is as good as changing the chalkpiece color, right? Okay. Okay, now let me sample this. So this is what we go for. Now we have a sampled version of DTFT. So now, so that is what we call it as a frequency sampling. Frequency sampling of what? Frequency sampling of DTFT here. So now I try to sample this. Okay. So now it continues, right? The sample number 1, sample number 2, sample 3, fourth sample, fifth sample, and it continues in the same fashion. No, what will be the distance? All the samples here 4 and 5 are a little bit distance are more when compared to 1, 2, 3. Please assume that all the samples are equidistant. So now if I measure this, if assume that there are such n samples, and I told you that the signal will be periodic with respect to period 2 pi. Okay, now what will be the width of this? So this is, if this entire thing is delta, I will call this small delta, or if entire thing is omega, I'll make it small delta omega. Now each and every sample will be having a distance of how much? So if I enter one cycle, if I let me consider this to be a one cycle here, okay, rather than so this is signal is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Why I am trying to write a minus infinity to plus infinity? Because you know that the x of omega, the DTFT definition stands like this. That is x of n into e to the power of minus j omega n, where this is summed up from n runs from minus infinity to plus infinity. Is it correct? So that's where my definition stands, from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now I know that the signal is periodic in nature. Now what I do is I take only first sample. So one period. Let me assume that this is one cycle. Okay. Of such, there are n number of cycles, right? So I'll just keep moving here with respect to another thing. So let me take a new figure, like, so that you can understand in a much better way. Okay. So this is one signal where now you got a continuous DTFT signal here. So this is x of e power j omega. Okay. Let me erase this and rewrite. So okay, let us assume this figure here, and okay, let us assume this figure here, and we'll try to analyze. Okay, now considering this, there are many cycles which are periodic with respect to 2 pi. So x of e power j omega is a DTFT signal with respect to periodic and it is periodic with respect to period 2 pi. Fine. So next, very important, it is a continuous function. Fine. Now this is, I'll try to go for sampling of this signal. So this is one point I'll consider, this is one more point I'll consider, this is one more point I'll consider. Now I'll just go for sampling these signals here. So this is sample number 1, sample number 2, sample number 3, and again I go for sampling, continuous sampling, sample number 4, sample number 5, and it continues, right? And this continues. So this is n samples. So which means that let me consider only one cycle, that is from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, or let me consider a signal, because after 0 to 2 pi interval, okay, you take a second interval, then again even the second interval is also periodic in nature, right? The third cycle is also periodic in nature. So now if I consider 0 to 2 pi, then this is one cycle. This is one cycle. Even the next, after this 2 pi to the one more 2 pi, from this 2 pi to the next 2 pi, it is also a periodic in nature. So now if you go for back in this, so again from 0 to minus 2 pi, it is also periodic in nature, right? So now this is the first sample. Now here the terminologies I should understand here is, the each cycle is sampled like n, up to n, sample 0, sample 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to the last sample is n. Similarly, there are the first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle, and there might be up to k number of cycles. So one sample I will be sampling, and all the one cycle I will be sampling, and each distance is, now if I consider this distance here, it is small delta omega, which will be the total length I took here is 2 pi, and one distance will be 2 pi by n, right? So what is the sample thing I am considering in one cycle? If I consider the first cycle, this is the cycle number 1. If I consider that the distance from one sample to the second sample will be 2 pi by n, which is nothing but a frequency component, right? So this is one frequency component, here is one more frequency component, here is the third frequency component, so on. All these points are frequency components. I am trying to find the what is the frequency at this instant, at this stage. What is the frequency at this stage? What is the frequency at this stage? What is the frequency? But I am trying to fetch the frequency component by sampling. You must understand this particular concept very clearly. Now, of such, so this is, I am talking about one cycle. Of such, there are how many cycles? Of such, there are k cycles, right? So now I rewrite the equation of DTFT, that is x of omega was my DTFT definition, that is x of n into e to the power of minus j 2 pi j omega n, right? So then n is running from minus infinity to plus infinity. This was my definition here. It is omega, guys, don't confuse here. Okay, so this is omega. This. Okay, now now what I am doing, I am trying to sample this omega with respect to 2 pi by n into k number of cycles. So this will be equal to, I just replace this. So now I am trying to take for only one cycle. So therefore, if there are n samples, if I consider 0 as the first sample, then there will be 0 to n minus n minus 1 samples, and x of n into e to the power of minus j. What is omega here? Omega is nothing but 2 pi n into k, and this n as usual n. So this is what we call the definition for. So this was DFT, and this was DTFT, and now this equation becomes your DFT equations. So in general, the 2 pi by n is constant. So 2 pi is also constant, n is also constant. So we rewrite the equation for DFT as x of k is equal to summation n runs from 0 to n minus 1 x of n into e to the power of minus j 2 pi by n kn. So this is the definition for DFT, and where k runs from, or so this is the very important point, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to capital N minus 1, and k is also, what about k? K is also first cycle, second cycle up to n minus 1 cycle, right? So 0, 1, 2, so on n minus 1. So the k ranges from 0 to n minus 1, as well as n is also going to be ranges from n minus 1. So observe closely the relationship of DFT here. So you have two components. So one is k component, another one is small n component. So small n is nothing but the samples that I am trying to see. So if we put n equal to 0, x of 0, I am going to get the first sample. If you put n equal to 1, I am going to get the second sample, that is x of 1, x of 2, and so on in one cycle, right? That is x of 0. If I consider this as a 0th sample, this is value of k equal to 0. Now I apply k equal to 1. So I am going to get the second second sample. I'm reading it, I'm considering 0 as the first sample, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's where I stop at last value at n minus 1. The last sample might be n minus 1. Or if you consider from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you start reading it from 1 to 1, then the last sample will be n. If you start reading it from 0, the last sample will be n minus 1. No need to confuse that. Earlier I wrote 1, 2, 3, and now I am trying to write 0, 1. So that is just a nomenclature, naming the numbers. That's it. Okay. I hope you got the clear differentiation between DTFT and DFT signal. So okay, so this is what the k value, k0, k1, k of such one more cycle. If you consider there is one more 0 to 2 pi cycle. Again in that 0 to 2 pi cycle you have a n samples, right? So that will be n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and till it reaches n minus 1. In each sample we try to identify the x of k values. Now once again, x of k is nothing but a discrete signals, is it not? All these are discrete values, and hence the name discrete time discrete Fourier transform. All the signals are discrete in nature, and we got it from the Fourier transform, hence the name discrete Fourier transform. X of k is only a discrete values. Now it is very easy for you guys to obtain the angle and magnitude of x of k. So we will learn magnitude and as well as x of k, magnitude and angle, how to identify, that we will learn in the next class. Thank you for watching the video.